Hi creatives! Welcome back to the design studio. Today we are starting our roll into spring and Easter. So I'm super excited to show you the 2024 designs that we'll be working on for spring as well as Easter. So there'll be a little bit of a mix of virtually anything you can think of. And what I'm trying to do on some of the designs is give you options. For example, you can purchase it for spring, but you can also leave it up to get you through Easter. But it's not Easter per se. Like, it doesn't say Happy Easter. There's no like specific things that are related to Easter. They might feature bunnies like today's design. And that way, if you want to save money and not have a spring and an Easter wreath, you can just look for these. They're called transitional wreaths, which means that they have more than one purpose. So I can't wait to show you today's design. I'm going to go ahead and get signed in so that we're all ready to go. And then I'll go over all the materials with you. Let me make sure. And swipe so I can leave a comment. Okay, give me just 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and put my website in. This gives you some information such as how to sign up on my email newsletter, how to join either group I have. I have a Wreath of the Month group and a private group. You can join either of those from that website. Plus, there's a ton of valuable free information there for you as well, like how do you clean a grapevine, or how do you make a bow. You can even sign up and get that free bow recipe emailed directly to you. So that is the link that is, one moment, as soon as it wants to do this, pinned to the bottom. Also, if you'd like to purchase today's design, you will find that on the website as well. I'm going to go ahead and pivot you down so we can get started, and I'll go over the materials with you. So here we go for a short little ride. I'm hoping that this works. My camera's been a little squirrely on the mount today. I think we're good. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on the 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. This time we're using the gold version because our color scheme in today's design is a sage, a yellow, and a beige. A little bit different for spring. It's going to be featuring a 10-inch sign, this watercolor bunny, which you... Yikes. Wow, that just popped off. That was my iPad. Not good to have that pop off. It just decided it just did not want to stay in its holder anymore and popped off. Well, there we go. I think we're back on. You can get this sign. It's a 10-inch round from Personalize It by Pam, and she is on Etsy. So if you like the sign, you're going to want to hop on over to her Etsy shop and go ahead and pick that up. But that is our design inspiration today, which is why we're kind of going with a little bit more of the sage and yellows for spring instead of pinks, purples, and blues. We are also going to be using a cotton drift deco mesh. So this has cotton fibers through it. It also has the regular polypropylene deco mesh in it. You have to cut this with a rotary cutter because these fibers right here don't like to be cut with a wood burning tool. They'll just smoke instead of cut. You will need 18 pieces of this. 20 inches long. We'll be doing the ruffle technique. In addition to that, we're using 6 different ribbons. So let me show you where these are. So these are all the ribbon choices that we're doing today on today's design. So it is featuring a sage and large white polka dot. This is from Kringle Designs. And then we're also going to be using this beige with the rose colored flowers and some Swiss dots. This is from Craft Outlet. And we're doing the butterflies with the white daisies. This is from Craft Outlet on the 1.5 inch. The yellow and white diagonal plaid is from Craft Outlet. And then these last 2.5 inches, the yellow and white Swiss dot is Craft Outlet. And then the sage with the raised white stitching, also craft outlet. So I think there was only one that had a variation that it wasn't craft outlet. So you can go to craftoutlet.com. Anybody can order from them and you can pick up your supplies. So I think that covers all of our supplies. I'm just color coordinating this because it just looks nicer. Plus it's easier for you to see what is going where. I've already done the first 5 sections. We're going to wire together the final section, and we are going to take one pipe cleaner. We're going to use those welds to find a halfway point between these 2 innermost rings, and we're just going to place a pipe cleaner on that. It just gives it a lot more stability than if you try to do it just one. If you try to do it just one, it's going to come out to where it's going to wobble. No matter how tight you get that, it's never going to be tight enough. And then we're going to do the outside too. This time, we're going to be using that center pipe cleaner and the weld to try to find a midway point. It doesn't have to be precise. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. This gives you 6 on the inside, 12 on the outside, grand total of 18. We are not going to be using the inside 6. So as I'm laying in my deco mesh, we're going to be removing every time I come to one of these, we'll be removing the inside, or the ones that are closest to the inner part of the ring first. So let me make sure, because my tablet, I want to make sure I can still see comments. So hi Cheryl, hi Anna, hi Elizabeth and Joanna from Florida. Cheryl, isn't he adorable? She's from Canada. Jan is watching from North Kentucky. Elizabeth said, how cold is my shop? Right now it is 65. And then she also asked a great question, what is the 200 stars? Well, Facebook incorporated an option that some people do fundraising. And if you want to contribute to the fundraising, I believe every star is equated to 1 cent. It's also a way to tip your fellow creatives. So that's what the stars are. You can send stars, and basically what that is if you sent 200 stars, you basically be sending, what is that, $2. So we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. Hi, Jacob from Minnesota, or is it Amy? I think it is Amy. So we're going to go ahead and start. Like I said, you have to cut these with a rotary cutter. And we're going to curl against the way that it wants to curl naturally. So we're just going to pretend that we have an invisible line right up the center. And as you notice, I'm pulling the mesh towards myself, just like this. It gives you a nice little bow tie. We're going to place that right on the inside. I'm going to start with the inside one. And since we're removing these, we're not adding anything else to these ones, I'm going to cut after I've twisted and then simply tuck that down below. Now the inside ones are just designed to give you better coverage between each of those outside 2. So it kind of fills the gap a little bit. And then I'm going to do a method that I call the next one. So it just means the next piece of deco mesh that I'm going to lay in will be the next pipe cleaner I come to. So we're going to go ahead and tackle this, what is it, outside right in that section. So I'm just gathering about 1/2 inch of deco mesh as I'm pulling that mesh towards me. It doesn't have to be like perfect, you know, everything is a 1/2 inch. It's just going to be an estimation. And then we are going to fold that cut edge, because that's where it's going to have a tendency of wanting to fray, and just fold that under. And then I'm going to push the ones that I get out of the way to the left so that I'm ready to work the very next one. Now, because those middle sections don't have a middle one, we kind of have to get a little bit inventive in how are we going to cover that gap. So what I have found is if you take the one that is to the right of that section, again, fold over your ends, it gives you enough opportunity to kind of wrap that pipe cleaner so that when you come in and lay it, it's going to lay directly on top of that and fill that space. Just like this. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free and ask away. I try to just make sure that it's about halfway when I'm laying that in, so we have equal on the top and bottom. Again, fold the ends going into that section, and then I'm going to move my pipe cleaners to the left. Now we're getting ready to do our inside one. Okay, so back to the inside, I'm going to push the piece preceding kind of off to the left. I'm going to lay this directly inside. Give it a couple twists. And then we're going to cut off the excess. And then we're just going to tuck that right back to the inside. And since this is an inside piece, we need to make sure that the piece preceding that goes back on top. Just like that. Again, folding your ends over. And then we're ready to lay the outside piece. Let's see. I'm looking at the questions that you guys had. Okay, do they charge you a percentage? Hold on, who asked that question? Elizabeth, do they charge you a percentage discount? What is that supposed to mean? I'm not sure. How long are they again? So the Deco mesh pieces are cut to 20 inches. You will only need one roll of Deco mesh. That will use up your roll from start to finish, and you will have no leftovers, which is really practical as a wreath maker, because I don't like having spare Deco mesh just sitting around, especially if you get a specialty pattern that you might not like, you're not likely to get again, or they might not have that in stock again. What's the point of having it? And I know from a creative perspective, we're like, well, maybe I can incorporate that into a design. If you can, great, go ahead and hang on to it. But in all my years of doing this, very rarely do I ever use the leftover pieces at the tail end. It just takes up space in my craft closet. It irritates me. This is it. 18 30 feet on a full roll of mesh, provided that you're getting 30-foot rolls. Be careful, because some of those really pretty fancy patterns now are only coming in 18-foot rolls, which is not a really good deal. Oh, when someone gives you stars on the credit card, do they charge you a discount for the stars? No, they just charge you whatever they are. So if you sent 200 stars, it'd just be a $2 charge on whatever payment method you have set up on Facebook. I wish they gave you a discount. Nope. I think that was just Facebook's way of, hey, how can people send us money if they just want to tip us for doing free tutorials in a public group? And some people might say, well, Facebook pays you to monetize. You'd be surprised at how very low that is. I mean, I might get $1.20 for the whole month based on I don't even know how they factor that in. It is so crazy. You could not be a small business owner and hope that you're going to monetize enough money on Facebook Lives to supplement your income. It is that low. I don't even think I'll get $10.99 this year from that. It is not a moneymaker. Okay, so again, adding pieces to the outside, folding our edges, prepping that next section, making sure that it has that nice overlap, moving your pipe cleaners to the left as you get to them. I felt that this mesh was ideal for that soft bunny. And so it was like really hard for me to decide, okay, what colors do I really want to highlight in that sign? But when we did our color class in our private group, I introduced that sign and we looked at a whole bunch of different options for colors. And I don't think I had this Deco mesh handy when I was showing some color options. Let's have a wayward piece. That is the downside of those frays. Okay. See, sometimes you just have to push your pipe cleaners out of the way because they always want to go right through the piece that you're getting ready to lay in. Hi, Shirley. It's just me. I rarely will Steve pop in unless he's driving. Sometimes he drives and pops in on our Facebook Lives and he'll be like, hi, everyone. But he generally does not join me because he's at the job that he has now. It really requires his full attention on the days that he is working from home. Which means working right up till 5. So every once in a blue moon, I get to have him pop in and say hi to everyone. I'm attempting to get this piece, which is the other side piece. I need to put it under. I was trying to put it over that other one, and I was like, why is this not laying right? It's because I was putting in the center and not the ends. Okay. I love this mesh. They came out with this mesh about 2 years ago. It started with a snowball mesh, which is just little balls, and it evolved into a full row, which I like so much better than the snowball mesh. It just had like little cotton balls scattered throughout. It was pretty for a while. It was something new to play with. But I like this one much, much better. And then I did a post, I want to say today is Tuesday. Was it yesterday? I shared with you a post that I had done of a Fluffed Bunny Wreath, and I said, hey, would you guys like to see this? And if so, what colors would you like? I have a mint green, I have a dark green, a yellow, a periwinkle, and a pink. And so out of those colors, what would you like to see for a Fluffed bunny? Yellow, mint green. It's not even really a dark green. It's more like a teal green. Pink, and then it's periwinkle. So it's kind of like a bluish purple. Okay. Tucking that inside. This is our inside, so I'm bringing it up and over, tilting those sides down. Then we're going to lay in that piece to the outside. I don't don't think people do yellow for spring too much. I think people are prone to like pinks, purples, ivories, maybe baby blues. Okay, we're prepping that next section because we've got that end piece on the left-hand side. Move that over and open that up. Okay, right over the top. What do you guys think of the color of this mesh? It is as soft as you think it would be with all that cotton fibers in it. It's very soft. So there's those two. Got to squeeze in our middle. Got exactly 3 pieces to go. Right inside. I love that our delivery drivers, our driveway is so big they can actually pull all the way in, U-turn their truck, spin it around the other side, and then they're good to go. That is a big truck. Oh, we didn't cut the ones off. Okay. 2 more. One to finish. One's finishing a section and the last is starting our beginning section. And when you work with this mesh, you're going to get those little cotton fibers everywhere. As you can see, they're like all over my sweatshirt. And I've just been outside today hanging out with my chickens because it's been so cold and snowy. I kind of feel like they've been neglected. You know, just kind of go out there, make sure they have food, make sure their water's okay, give them treats, and then I'm like, bye. Okay, last piece is in. Okay, so that is our finished base with all the pieces ready to go. And right now, end of mesh to end of mesh is 25 inches. So it's a 25 inch in diameter. We've got plenty in the inside to support our sign. So we're going to go ahead and do our outside ribbons. And we're doing something a little different. So let me show you what we have. These are the color combos. So we're going to do little mini baby bows with the white and yellow Swiss dot. So I have 6 pieces of this cut to 28 inches. Then I have the 1.5 inches with the roses. I felt that the dots needed to be dots and dots together. So the 2.5 inch pieces are cut to 14 inch. The Swiss dot is cut to 28 inch. That's the 1.5 inches. That's that color combo. And then we're doing the large polka dots on the sagey green, 14 inch pieces for this, the 2.5 inch. And then we're doing 19 inch. We're going to do the butterflies with the white daisies on the tan, cut to 19 inch pieces. Those are the combo colors. So I'm going to start with the florals. So we just fold our 2.5 inch in half to find the middle. We gather up the center. We're going to place that right inside These are just going on the outside 12. Remember, we already removed all the inside 12. So we're just going to fan that out. Then what we're going to do for our mini bows is basically a hand-tied bow. So we're going to start at about 6.5 inches. We're going to gather. We are going to measure out 7 inches. We're going to take what's in my right hand and pass it to my left hand with a twist. Then we're going to measure out 7 inches again, gather, hand it off to my left hand, twist, and now you have a full bow. So we're going to take that and tuck that right on the inside, give it a couple of twists, and we're going to go ahead and remove the excess pipe cleaner. You're going to take that little extra end, you're going to take it and tuck it right around the back, and then you are going to fluff that bow. So you're going to open up your loop. I like to see both colors. So something along the lines of, I'll spin this around so you can see it. Kind of looks like that. That is exactly what we're doing, just on that combo. Then on the other side, we are featuring the sage green. Fold it in half to find middle. Gather it up the center. Go ahead and lay it inside your pipe cleaner. One twist. Just kind of fan that out. And now you're going to take your dovetailed edges. You're going to bring them together. You're going to go up about 2 inches from the top. You're going to pinch in. And then you're going to lay that directly inside your pipe cleaner. This is called a half bow, because a full bow has 2 loops, 2 tails. This is a half bow. It only has 1 loop and 2 tails. Kind of like an awareness ribbon. Again, the excess piece you're going to take and tuck it behind the loop. I'm going to right side that piece of mesh that is proceeding. We're going to open the loop. We're going to right side. For me, it's always the left tail. I have to right side that and put it on the, take the wrong side, flip it to the right side. And then again, fan that out. So these are the 2 looks that are featured on this design. So one is a full mini bow and the other is a half bow. So we're going to keep doing that. We're toggling the color combinations all the way through, just alternating. We'll open that up, twist that together, and then again, construct your mini bow. Let's see if we can zoom in so you guys can see. I'm going to try to zoom in on that. I think that'll work. So 6.5 inches in, you pinch, transfer to the other hand, measure out 7 inches, transfer, twist, 7 inches, gather, put it in the center, and twist. That way you have your mini bow. And that goes right on the inside, just like so. Snip that off, tuck that tail right behind, go ahead and fluff out that bow because it's so pretty, so very spring-like. And then we just keep going. So this is the part where we get to ask you, or you get to ask me questions. Thank you, Elizabeth. She says, I love the colors. Welcome, Janice. Kathy says mint green. Anna says periwinkle. I love periwinkle too, but we did periwinkle already. And it's funny. I don't know why I got it. I think it's because I was in love with it. And I was so afraid when it sold, I was gonna miss out. So I was like, no, I have to have the periwinkle for me. And those are from Walmart. I don't know if Walmart will carry them this year, but it's always the flocked money craze. So I try to jump ahead of all that. So I bought extra last year just so I could start them earlier this year. So that's what we're going to do next week. We're going to do a Fluffed Bunny Wreath. So I'm going to show you how to add that as an adorable attachment. So I've got to work on the whole design portion. Not sure we're going to do a wreath. We might do a door swag, like a straight door hanger kind of thing. Get this one. Just trying to change it up this year to give you guys literally something new all the time. You know, not just wreath after wreath after wreath, but mix it up. We'll do some swags. We'll do some centerpieces. I'm always curious how people decorate their home. I mean, do you guys decorate your home for holidays, or are there just certain holidays that you do decorating and the other ones are like, nah? You might put a seasonal wreath on the front door, but that's about as far as your decorating goes. Like, nobody ever comes to our house, like, except family and friends. I mean, we are honestly that far out. Our neighbors can't even see our front door from our driveway. So if I decorate, it's just for me and the people who come to the house. But I miss decorating. You know, because you would have people who would come by or stop by or drive by. But thankfully, we don't have the problem of theft here, where people would take what you put on your front door and that would be the last you saw of it. We don't have that here. We don't have porch pirates. We're too far out. Nobody wants to drive this far. This was the first time using this ribbon. I think I bought it last year for spring and never used it at all. I am not sure Craft Outlet will carry that this year. I don't know. But I like the yellow butterflies because there's a butterfly in the sign. It's more of a beige butterfly. It doesn't really have very much color to it, which is interesting because most butterflies do have a lot of color. Let us, big old thread. Okay. Here's that. Making our hand-tied bow. Once you get these down pat, though, you can make your hand-tied bows for everything. You can even do hand-tied bows and then just layer one on top of the other. This is probably the most extensive because I think most people who I used to watch in the past would go all the way around and put all their ribbon tails in, and then go all the way around and put their next ribbon in, and then they might go all the way around again and put in flex tubing before they got to their bow. I think we have 5 more to go. I'm just trying to make sure I don't mix my colors. Okay, there's that one. I like doing the half bows because they're super easy and they look amazing. I need to put a calendar together of all the holidays so I can stay on top of, you know, seasonal things like when does baseball season start, when does football season start, all that stuff. That was one of the things we did not do this year. Really was any sports themed wreaths at all. Okay, here's that. Another hand tied. 6.5 in. 7 with a twist. Ooh, there we go. 7 with a twist. And up and over, open, open. Okay. I'm just making sure all my pipe cleaners are open. It just makes it easier for me to just come in and drop in my ribbons. Nancy. For some reason, I have the idea that last year I signed up for a one-time payment for the private group. It's never a one-time payment. It's always a reoccurring payment. So if you sign up once, it's not just a one and done, unless you're on the lifetime plan, and that just started this year. So once your year rolls around again, or once your month rolls around again, it's an auto reoccurring charge. So if you want to email me, Nancy, at info@catscreationsandmore.com, I'd be happy to help you. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then one of each left, and then we can move on to creating our bow, adding our sign, and then we might have a little bit of embellishment. I just want to keep it really soft looking though. Not anything crazy. Okay. In, twist, in, twist. Okay. Tuck that in. Here's the last one of those little hand-tied bows. There we go. Had it the wrong way. And then this one, kind of just making a path for it. This is just a different look for spring. This is, yes, I feel like it's the softer side of spring. So we squish that together. There's that. Open the last one. And there we go. So you can decide what you want to see more prevalent on your wreath. If you want to see more tans and yellows, those are the ones that you'll want to bring to the forefront, like the kind that kind of overlap on each other. If you want your green, then what you would do is just go in and make sure that that green is more pronounced in all of your details, so that, you know, that comes to the top in everything that you do. Like here's green. I would bring the green to the top, green to the top. Same thing here, our green to the top. Same thing here. Whoop. Green to the top. And I've got it over here, so I just overlap differently. Just like so. And then the final one is over here. And then we're all good. Okay, so that is the base waiting for our bow and our sign. So let me show you how to put that together. Let's get rid of all the cottony. So we're going to use the Bowdabra. Hi Karen, hi Teresa. They came prepared with a wire cutter to remove my spring wreath. Janie, I'm kind of lost on your comment. I'm looking back. Elizabeth says, I miss hearing Steve on your lives. I know, I keep telling him that. Okay, so let me show you how to put this together. We're going to start with our 2.5 inch, and I'm going to put the green down first and then the tan, because our base color is already tan. Hi Lisa, welcome. And then we're going to follow it up with the rose print. I think I want to leave this as our outside piece. We'll see how that goes. We can then, let's do it this way. We'll do the lemon. I always think that looks like lemon chiffon, lemon meringue. And then we'll do the green, and then we'll do the yellow, and then the white. So that'll be the way that we're putting our ribbon together. So we're going to dovetail our edge first, which is just bring your wired edges together. You're going to cut from this folded side down to the wired point. Now, how high you come up on that fold determines how deep your V will be on your ribbon. So we're going to start at 10 inches and we're going to gather and we're going to twist and place that on the inside. We're going to go up and over, and we're going to go with 5.5 inch loops, which means I'm going to take my bow maker, bring this back to the 10. I'm going to stretch this out, and I want to pull my ribbon back to where this lines up with the 5.5 inch line. That way I know that my ribbon loops are the same length, and then my tails are exactly the same length. So here we go. Wired edges together, cut from the fold to the point, and then that one is done. That one is finished. Now we're going to do the rose colored. So we're going to fold, do our dovetail in. We're going to measure this one at 9.5 inches, and then we're going to gather that in. We're going to pinch it at that point and twist it. Place it inside your bow maker. This time we're only going to go with 5 inch loops. So same process, twist, bring it over to your 10. Pull this out and see that your ends, do they line up with the 5 inch mark? Same thing on the other side. I'm always bringing it back just to double check. That one's a little long. And then back out 9.5 inches. dovetail our end. And that one is a wrap. Okay, now we are going to go with our little lemon chiffon color. Dovetail the end. The process for me is always the same. 9 inches is our tail length. We're going to gather, twist, place it in the inside, and this time we're going for 4.5 inch. So they're going to come down a 1/2 inch. Make sure it's on the same. If you make sure that your loops are the same length and that your tails are the same length, it just makes it easier to fluff your bow. Because I'm sure you guys have had that happen where it feels like one side's longer than the other. When you lift them up, you can definitely tell one side is longer than the other. Making sure and measuring them both, you shouldn't have any issues when it comes to fluffing your bows, because everything should be the same. Okay, now we're going with that green. Which dovetail the end. This was going to be 8.5 inches for the tail length, and it's going to also be 4.5 inches for the loop length. I just like that transition between the two to be exactly the same. And here's how you can just take a shortcut. Since we've already measured the bottom, you can put your fingers in the bottom loop and the top loop and pull, because then you know the bottom one's already 4.5 because you measured them. Same thing here. Measure, but we still need to measure out that tail length and make sure that we're sitting right at 8.5 inches. Okay, that one is down. Now we have our Swiss dot and then the butterflies, and we're done. So this one is going to be 8 inches for the tail length, but only 4 inches for the loop length. And this is my bow recipe, that if you like the way this bow turns out, you can actually go to the website pinned to the bottom. You can sign up for the email list and we'll send you the bow recipe. We put it on a cute little recipe card, and the link to the bow tutorial that shows you how to put it together so that you can master this one. Oop. Hate when we get those little snags on the end from the stitching. Okay. Trying to get those to all lay nice and pretty. And the last one is our butterflies. Do a quick dovetail. This one is 7.5 inches long and 3.5 inches is the length of our bow loops. So always bring it back, measure it out. Gives me a chance to just kind of get everything nice and pretty in the bow maker. That one is yielding a little closer to 4. We want to bring it in and then back out to 7.5. Okay, that one should be done. And that is finished. Oops. Okay, we are going to go with a beige pipe cleaner. So I just prep it by putting it in a little U shape so that as I bring everything up, I'm depressing both sides with both my hands, kind of holding that together. You're just going to transition it to one hand, drop your pipe cleaner on the top, hold it at the bottom, and then just twist everything else in the stack. And now we're ready to fluff. Which we're going to do with my fluff board. So I had to just make sure my bow maker's out of the way. There we go. Okay. So this is just a 24-inch by 24-inch by 1-inch thick piece of plywood. It's just pre-cut. I know it looks pretty on the front, but honestly, that's all it is. If you just get some peel and stick floor tile and put it on the top, you have a really nice fancy board for displaying your bows on. So, and we're always looking for something, right, to make our bows look pretty. Just something neutral, but pretty. So this is what it's going to do. I believe we're going to do, because I'm looking at the sign, we could put the bow at the bottom. Oop, trying to get rid of the glare. Still, go away, light. It's like right there. We can put the bow at the bottom, or we can put the bow kind of up here, which is where I'm thinking of placing it. So knowing that helps us determine, okay, what type of bow are you doing? If you're doing a bottom, you're going to pull all your tails to the bottom. Since we're kind of doing it up in the corner, what we want to do is we want to separate tails from loops. So just like that, I have my tail to the right, the loop to the left. Then go directly opposite that on the bottom. Here's my loop to the right. My tail's now going to go to the left. So everything is directly across from one another, just like that. Now the next ribbon we bring down, we're going to go opposite. We're going to pull our loop to the right, our tail to the left, go to the bottom, and we're going to do the opposite. The loop to the left, tail to the right. So now it's staggering our loop and tail colors. So we're going to keep on doing that. We're going to take the yellow down, go find it on the opposite side, and follow the pattern. Now the green is going to follow our floral. So we have loop and tail. Back over here, we're going to make sure it's opposite. Back up here, just so we don't put yellow on yellow, I'm going to pull the Swiss dot over here. And we're going to do that same here. And now we're going to pull the butterfly back over to the opposite side. Just so that when you're fluffing it, we don't have like yellow on top of yellow. It looks more aesthetically pleasing. And this, because I know where all of my tails are and where all of my loops are, it makes it easy for when I want to add it to my sign. So from here, we're going to fluff by lifting the top two. Go to the other side, lift your top two. Then you're going to go to your next one and figure out, okay, do you want the green between these or do you want to put the yellow between them? I prefer the green. I just think it looks nicer. So I'm going to put that in between. And then from here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not doing anything with the tails yet. Here's my yellow. It's just going to kind of touch on the outside. And then we're going to do the same on the bottom. That floral print's going to come right between these two. And then our sagey green is going to come right between these two. You just want to make sure that you're fluffing those ribbons up so they don't look like they have flat ends. We want them rounded and fluffy, like a bow should be. And then now your tails, you're just going to drag between your fingers like the old curling ribbon used to be. And that just kind of puts that really pretty arc back in them, so that that's going to flow right around our mesh, the same direction the mesh will be. Just nice little flows. And then you can just, you know, kind of play with the bow and figure out what do you like where. But that's as simple as bow making gets. Loretta says, do you have a color, or do you have a tutorial on matching colors and ribbons with designs for bows? I have in the private group a tutorial we just did. It is probably the most requested and rewatched tutorial that we do on color theory, which really helps new wreath makers and even seasoned wreath makers figure out why it's so darn difficult to match our ribbons with I'm trying to get my, I really want this, I went the wrong way when I was putting this on. I kind of twisted it twice, which is fine. We're going to fluff it again anyway once we get it on our wreath. There we go. We'll just refluff it. But yes, and even if you joined today in the private group, you still have access to all the tutorials for the last 6 years. So anything that we've done in the private group, you can rewatch any of those videos as often as you want. Okay. And you can find out the details for that on the bottom. I'm trying to think, when did we do that, Loretta? It would have been last week. So go to the files tab on the group page and just search for Color Theory 2024, and that'll really help you out a lot. Okay, let us punch holes in our sign and wire up our sign. So I'm going to do it side to side here. So I just have a 1.5 millimeter hole punch. I'm going to pop a hole in the side and directly on the other side. It punches in metal just like a hole puncher does on paper, but much smaller hole. If you're going to order them, make sure you get the 1.5 millimeter Beadsmith hole punch pliers. You can get those on Amazon. If you get them locally sourced at like Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Michael's, it's going to be in the jewelry section. It'll just be a metal hole punch, but you want no more than 1.5 millimeter. Anything greater than that, you're going to see the hole. So these are going through our sign, through the back. We're kind of going, and we're building on our hole, which means right where we have that hole punched in the sign is right how I'm twisting the wire, which is directly over the sign. Okay. What that does is it causes my sign to lay flat and not out to the side like some people twist their signs on here. Then it acts more like a spinner. Here it lays flat because we're building that slightly behind the sign. So once we have that on, I am going to utilize one of my interior pipe cleaners. So I'm going to take my sign. I'm going to place this directly over because I know that's going to hit my wreath frame. I want it fluffed up a little because I don't want to see holes. So I'm going to take this and pull this, pushing it down so that I have a tension spot of where I want to see it lay. I do not want to go all the way to the bottom of my frame. That's where you get that look where it looks like it's sinking into the wreath instead of being where it should be, which is on the top. Trying to find my My hole should be over here. There it is. Okay, back over here. Back over here. Again, trying to make sure I got both of my ends. And we're going to push them down. So he's flush. I call him a he. Maybe because the colors. Feels more boy than girl bunny. Okay. Now at the bottom right here, these Deco mesh pieces that we have that were on the outside, we just kind of want to pull them to the front so that it doesn't have this harsh line right here. So this is called feathering the edge. So we just kind of want to feather that. Just like so. So it gives it a nice little soft look. And then right here, we're not going to do anything because this is right where our bow is going to reside, but we can pull this side up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and tuck those side pieces in a little bit like that. Okay, and then this is where our bow's going to go. I'm going to go ahead and grab my bow, and I'm going to place that roughly where I want it to line up, which is right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and run my pipe cleaners down through the bottom. And then I'm going to push my bow down so it stops where I need it to stop and not all the way to the bottom. Because then you'll just have to refluff everything all over again. And now you'll just figure out, you know, what do you want to see where? Where do you want all your pieces to lay? Just like this. So we have an adorable little bunny. So what I want to do is kind of take some of this beige and I want to cut this beige a little bit. And so we're going to add some soft florals. Now, trying to get this piece out. There it goes, right there. Because I want to feather that end all the way around. And this piece is upside down. There we go. Craft Outlet started carrying florals. So there is this cute little bundle right here that they carry for, I want to say it's like right at $4, like $3.95. So we're going to take this and we're going to break this apart. It comes in a bunch of different picks. So I'm going to separate these. So let's break these apart. Could strip them just like that. The top just does not want to yield as much as we'd like. So you guys know me, I'm all about building my own picks. So I'm going to kind of take some of the greenery. We're going to put greenery up. We're going to put a greenery in here. Kind of looking at what other pieces do we have. We have some pink florals. We have some white florals, so we might go like white in here. We might introduce some pink with green as soon as I can cut that one back. Like if we added one here, I'm just placing. We added some pink in here. We also have, I think the purple is a little too deep for me that's on here. We have the yellow, which would be more along that line. We have some of those, which we can add. And I think that that softens it just enough. Like I think these are a little too bright, a little too bold, even with the purple berries. So I am going to remove the greenery from that. I even think that that's a little too orange. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create my own pick, in a sense. Since they're wired, I'm just going to wire everything together. Just like so. Bring all of our florals to the top. That's going to stretch out. Let's see if we can get this one to wrap once so that we have some nice pretty florals there. And I'm going to go ahead and snip the ends so these are even. And we can kind of feather that around the edge of our sign. Kind of bring some of it in, kind of like that. We can even add, we're doing the same thing. I'm bringing the pink up about halfway and then just wrapping the green floral greenery all the way down. Taking the floral and just kind of wrapping it around the greenery. So we'll add that one in here, and then we're going to do the same for this one. So starting with the center, just twist, do the same up through the top. That way a non-wired flower basically becomes a wired flower. And we'll blend this one in down here through that leaf. And this one will come up here somewhere. So I'm going to start with the white at the bottom. So I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm just going to glue at the bottom. Kind of glue up here at the top. And I'm just going to lay this right under my mesh. Just like this. Just like that. Something nice and soft. I like that one. Look how pretty that looks. Just a nice soft touch. I need to trim the end of my other yellow. Doing the same thing. Adding the glue to the bottom. Up here in the middle. I'm going to add this just under my mesh. I have a fray right there. It's driving me crazy. Just like that. I'm not sure I want to put the pink in. I have the pink in the ribbon, but I'm not sure I want to introduce the pink. I might need to go get another, like, yellow mix so that we can stay. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the pink is too pink? Like it would be in here? Or do you think we should add the pink? What do you guys think? Should we add the pink or take the pink and put yellow in instead? What do you think? I do have another yellow. So we can mix. You guys like the pink? Okay, you guys are Pink by the Bow. Well, I already put the white there. So I was trying to break up like too much, like a light yellow and a dark yellow with the pink. Stick with the yellow, Beth says. Loretta says no pink. Yellow, pink. Cheryl says I like the pink. Someone else says stick with the yellow. See, I'm saying stick with the yellow too. So let's just mix. Let's just mix that with the yellow again. This time we'll do, let me look. See, we might be able to do like 2 different types of yellow. Like the middle would be a combo of both. Let me wrap the floral around the greenery first. Okay, let me look. So I think I might want to bring it in a little bit. Like so. What do you guys think? This is where we're at. So I kind of did a combo of both of these in one. I think we'll add just a touch more of the greenery to it. Like give it a little bit more green. Since this is a dual, I'll just make it a touch. Oop, not that one. Keep doing the same thing. So this way we'll add just a touch more greenery, a little bit more green. And we're going to bend it so it kind of ties in like that. Like that, totally. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my glue right here. And then it's almost right where I have my finger. So just underneath here, I'm going to flip our greenery around. And we're going to cut that wayward right there. So that we kind of have some of the greenery blending into the design itself. And then we'll straighten out the ribbon, we'll put it on the door, and we're done. Okay, just like so. Okay, super simple, adorable, and cute. Let me fluff. It's just easier for me to just fluff right here than fluffing on the door. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pivot you up and tight. I'm praying my camera does not fall. Okay, I'm going to take this one off. And we're going to put up the bunny, which is right there. Fluff all of your ribbon so that it's actually 3D and not static and flat, because it looks so nice when you do a good fluff. And then need to get that off. Same thing down here. Nice fluff. Get all those tails looking fabulous. There we go. What do you guys think? And that is our spring bunny wreath. Just like so. The bunny sign, Maria, is from Personalize It By Pam on Etsy. I'm going to zoom in on that, so give me just 1 second. I don't know why my camera always goes, wants to go like immediate zoom. So I'm trying to get it to do a subtle zoom. That's basically what you got for the final design. Cheryl says, so gorgeous as usual. Love it. This is available for sale on my website. If you're interested, you can pick it up by clicking on the link below and go to new product collection, and you'll see the Facebook Live logo. That is for this design because we didn't know what it would look like until we created it. You guys have any other questions I can answer for you? Thank you, Margaret. Jean says, when's the material list coming out? As soon as I upload the video and start transcribing the materials list for you, since I now know everything we used and how much and what we did. So I'll get that up for you tonight, so you'll have all that handy for private group members. And if you guys want to join, go down to the bottom, click on the link. You can sign up monthly, you can sign up yearly, and you can sign up lifetime. Lifetime's like one and done. You pay and you're done. You don't ever have to sign up again. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Come back on Thursday. I have a new one that you guys aren't going to want to miss. It's definitely for country fans for sure. And I'll talk to you guys then. Bye for now.